Good evening. It is Tuesday, the 24th of October 2023. A happy independence to all Zambian. And welcome to our main news bulletin. Let's go straight and look at the top stories in our news tonight. Expelled PF official SAMPA holds party national conference. UPND chairperson Obvious MWALITETA accuses the PF of seeking public sympathy. President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA honors Chief MPEZENI at the 59th Independence celebration. In international news, at least 20 dead in an attack attributed to the ADF in Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO legends take on Malawi legends at the newly refurbished KAUNDA Stadium in CHIPATA. Do join me with the details shortly.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. Some concerned residents of Kapolanga Market in Mongo district have called on the local authority to clean the drainages before the onset of the rain season to avoid the outbreak of waterborne diseases. In an interview with Camnet News, the residents spoken to have complained that most drainages are blocked with litter and that the situation will worsen once the rainy season starts. Meanwhile, Mongo Municipal Public Relations Officer Abigail Sitenge, who has acknowledged the challenge, has assured the community that the local authority will intervene, but has also urged them not to throw litter anyhow.
As the rain season approaches, some Mongo residents are concerned with uncleaned drainages in the district. Speaking to Camnet TV News, the residents have appealed to the authorities to attend to the matter before the onset of the rains.
Yamanga tawu mikina kwa litavula kula yata kala itapula vakansu please vakupa kambe batani wakeni sema tumewe kuno kuli wakeni vachiweka paliswani kunotole kusana kukliniwa vakuli matuku kyamanga tata na kwe yatavula twela vakupa vakansu kuli batali me basabele zipate kuli batoe ga cleaner bato cleaner mama drainage hapo kwa. So I'm pleading to the council, the mayor, to at least to those who are used to clean these drainages to come back and start doing their job. Yes.
Other concerned residents are calling on the local authority to take this matter seriously.
Let them engage some contractors who can collect this stuff. Otherwise, it can bring hazard to our community. Collect this stuff. Otherwise, it can bring hazard to our community. Yeah, that is what I said. Yeah, what may come out is this is like cholera. That is a fact. We may not run away from that fact. Otherwise, it's a must. If this thing can be collected, this will erupt in this community.
When reached for a comment, Mongo Municipal Council Public Relations Officer Abigail Sitenge called for concerted efforts to keep the town clean.
We consistently clean the drainages and collect the waste from there. The local authority and residents of Mongo have to work together to ensure that our town is clean. But you see, the main challenge that we have as a local authority in Mongo is that people are not cooperating with us. People litter anyhow, which is very, very difficult on our part. Money as a local authority to always transport waste, to first of all collect waste from the public places and dump it at our dumping site in Kande. It's very expensive because if you look at the CBD, it's about 15 kilometers from here to Kande dump site. Urge all residents in Mongo to cooperate with the local authority. Let's work together to ensure that Mongo is clean.
Drainage systems are critical for disease control, and if no action is taken, accumulation of stagnant water can be a breeding point for mosquitoes, which may lead to outbreaks of diseases such as malaria, among others. Camnet News, Mongo District.
Patriotic Front PF aspiring candidate Miles Sampa has held the PF Extraordinary General Conference, which has declared him leader of the former ruling party. Mr. Sampa was suspended on Sunday by the PF Central Committee for indiscipline whilst he was contesting his earlier suspension in the courts of law. Addressing scores who gathered at Mulungushi Conference Center in Lusaka, which was under tight police security, Mr. Sampa vowed to commence a true PF rebranding, not one being led by people he called hijackers. PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has, however, described the convention that has elected Mr. Sampa illegal, accusing the state of sponsoring the activity to destabilize the former ruling party. Let's get the details in this report. We'll get back to that story a little bit later. But in other news, Lusaka Province United Party for National Development UPND Chairperson Obvious MWALITETA has accused the Patriotic Front PF of seeking public sympathy through its cries of a shrinking democratic space in the country. Mr. MWALITETA says public sympathy for the PF is non-existent, hence the reason it was removed from government by the people, and its current leadership should realize it. Mr. MWALITETA was reacting to PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity Emmanuel Mwamba's move to sue government over his alleged torture by police officers in his previous arrest.
We know what we passed through. You know, even to stay in prison for 1 year, that's the greatest torture you can ever have, you understand? But 2 hours, 3 hours that I was tortured, they should do, I think it's high time that they should reflect. Self-introspection is very important in life. When we have given them this chance of talking as a political party, it's because we want them to exercise their political democracy. Okay? Because it's a democratic country. So let them just exercise it in a normal way and do the checks and balances properly. Not because now they want sympathy, then they can even start buying or making up stories like that. It's very wrong. PF, it's gone for good. It will never come back.
Independent Petauke Area Member of Parliament Emmanuel Banda has bemoaned the low uptake of the Constituency Development Fund CDF in Petauke, saying the Ministry of Local Government is frustrating CDF projects proposed by various constituencies. In an interview, Mr. Banda has raised concern that CDF comes with a lot of instructions from the local authority and that people have little to say, pointing out some of the developmental projects they would like to see in their respective constituencies. He has since implored government to let citizens be in charge of its given funds and not the local government, instructing them on how to utilize the funds.
Constituency Development Fund CDF, established in 1995 with the purpose to finance micro-community-based projects that would contribute to infrastructure development, wealth creation, and poverty reduction at constituency level. Under this initiative, each constituency is allocated equal amount of money, whether based in rural or urban area. In the 2024 national budget, the government announced the increase of the Constituency Development Fund from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha. However, the distribution of the CDF continues to receive complaints and concern from various area members of parliament. Independent Petauke Area Member of Parliament Emmanuel Banda is concerned that the distribution of the CDF comes with a lot of instruction from the local authority, and people have little say in putting out some of the developmental projects they would like to see in their respective constituencies.
Promise the Zambian people to say, now I'm taking money back to the constituencies, back to the people on the ground. But why now these people who are in charge of this money, why are they putting other things before money reaches to the constituency? Because right now what we can say is for 2022 and for 2023, the only money which will go to from Lusaka, which will go to the constituency, is 10 million. But the pronunciation in the media is that the money which will go is how much? It's 28 million. So this is what we are saying, to say, let the people be in charge of that 28 million. So next year, since now it's a past, but for next year, for the 30 million, let people be in charge with that 30 million.
Meanwhile, Mr. Banda has disclosed some of the projects that he is undertaking in his constituency.
Just to build 1 by 3 classroom block, you find it's 1.5 million. So you know, even that money, which is allocated to which people, they think that it's a huge sum of money. But when it goes to the ward, it can't even manage to construct a 1 by 3 classroom block. So my appeal to the government is, let the government, the way the president pronounced in the first address to Parliament in 2021 in September, he said that I want to take money back to the people in the constituencies. So let the people be in charge with the whole allocation, not the government from Lusaka, which the president was against, to say he doesn't want Lusaka people to start telling what to do with that money.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA and his Tanzanian counterpart Samia Hassan has led service chiefs and diplomats in laying wreaths at the Freedom Statue in Lusaka to commemorate 59 years of Zambia's independence. In his homily, Brigadier General Reverend Henry Matifeo has called for peace and coexistence between Tanzania and Zambia if the two countries are to see prosperity. Besi Chanda, a senior citizen who attended wreath-laying ceremony, has urged young people to remain focused by staying away from any form of illicit activities to actualize dreams of the country's forefathers.
Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA and his Tanzanian counterpart, President Samia Hassan, led the wreath-laying ceremony at Freedom Statue in Lusaka as Zambia commemorated its 59th independence. The ceremony is held every 24th of October in honor of Zambia's fallen heroes who fought in the country's independence struggle in 1964. This year's independence ceremony has been commemorated under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources. In his homily reading in the book of Romans 12 verse 18, Brigadier General Reverend Henry Matifeo underscored the importance of peace and coexistence among nations if prosperity is to be attained.
Your Excellencies, peace is an ingredient to any development and any practical side of whatever we want to achieve in life. We can enhance further our bilateral ties knowing that we are at peace. There is a lot to share between our two nations.
Some senior citizens who attended the ceremony have urged young people to honor the Independence Day celebration and keep the values of Zambia's founding fathers.
For this generation, I should say, please celebrate the independence of Zambia, Mother Zambia. This is a special package, gift from God. But for the poor, our youth, the new generation, they've lost the track of being a good patriotic youth in Zambia.
Meanwhile, President Hichilema has honored some individuals for various acts of heroism during the investor ceremony held at State House. His Royal Highness Chief MPEZENI, Justice Irene Mambima posthumously, Professor William Chanda posthumously, Mr. Matia Ngalande, Ambassador Lazarus Kapembwa, a freedom fighter, and music icon SAMPA Tembo, popular as SAMPA the Great, were among those honored. For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Some youths in Lusaka have celebrated this year's Independence Day with a call on government to liberate Zambians from the economic slavery they are going through. One of the youths, spoken to Oliver Mubanga, has told Camnet News that in as much as the country is free from colonial rule, citizens, especially the youth, are not economically and politically free. Today, October 24th, 2023, Zambia celebrates 59 years of independence under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources.
Zambia gained independence on this day, 24th October 1964, under President Kenneth Kaunda, a nationalist leader who fought against the colonial federation of Northern Rhodesia, now Zambia, Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, as well as Nyasaland, now Malawi. 59 years later, Zambia remains free from the colonial rule, but the question of whether its people enjoy freedoms fought for by the courageous men and women in 1964 still remains debatable. Oliver Mwanga, a Lusaka-based youth, is of the view that the country is not economically and politically free, even after 59 years of independence.
Zambia is almost 6 decades old now, and it's so sad that we are still facing financial crisis in our country, and we have some parts of the country which are facing absolute poverty. So it pains me much as a youth, whereby we have vast land and fertile land. We have a lot of resources, natural resources to talk about, and we also have wildlife. But these things are not well harnessed by our political leaders, because we do not know whether there is lack of political will. We're just about 20 million. Look at countries like Nigeria, India, those countries like the United States of America, there are more than 100 million. Now, what gets in my mind is that what about if we turn 50, the population of 50 million? What will be our financial status by then?
Meanwhile, others have expressed how dear this day is to their heart.
Today, as Zambians, we are free. So we need to enjoy it as we are celebrating everywhere. People, let us celebrate this day peacefully, because it is very important day unto our lives. Because of this freedom which we have today, we can do anything. We have the freedom of speech, we have the freedom of liberty, freedom to own our own properties, freedom to move, which in those days we did it hard. So this day, it is very, very important to every Zambian people.
turaranga ichitika ngona mbakali kuchita vakainde vaya so yapachipo tukapati chinooneka kuti waikone nami kumuuza kwaso so independence chimwe chintu chipo tukampakalirera turachita kungwa otuyanda turajata kungwa malingo otuyanda turabereka ntchito otuyanda kunyina ta kwatijana kare kuti muzambia kuti munokapati so chikuondereseka pati kuti muuza wakwaso walijana muchimo chechi ero muuza mbotusekerera independence so kapoterwa kapati maningi.
And the freedom fighter has also added his voice on the importance of this day.
We should always remember the forefathers, especially President Kaunda, President Chiluba, President Manawasa, President Banda, and also President Sata, President Lungu, and now President HAKAINDE. This is wonderful.
Zambia today celebrates 59 years of independence under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Youth in Action for Disability Inclusion YADS Executive Director Ian Banda says there is need to remember the aged in the community who fought for the independence of the country. Speaking when he made a donation of clothes to the senior citizens in commemoration of Zambia's 59th independence, Mr. Banda says senior citizens lack a lot of basic needs that can be met if the country works together in unison. Meanwhile, some senior citizens in Lusaka's Kanyama compound have commended the United Party for National Development UPND administration for the effort it is making in supporting them.
These are senior citizens of Lusaka's Kanyama compound who gathered at the home of Youth in Action for Disability Inclusion, YADI's Executive Director, Ian Bonda, to receive winter clothing as the rain season nearly approaches. This is also part of Mr. Banda's initiative of commemorating Zambia's 59th independence by remembering those who fought for the freedom that we enjoy in the country, yet they are less recognized by society. Mr. Banda now explained what motivated him to give to the aged.
I decided to dedicate this day today, 24th October, ensuring that I celebrate with the aged, even including our women with disabilities, because we feel they fought for us as persons with disabilities to even reach where we are today, where we have the freedom and our rights as persons with disabilities. I think it's our call out there that let's celebrate this day peacefully and ensure that we remember our freedom fighters.
Meanwhile, some of the senior citizens spoken to have mentioned that things have now changed as Zambia no longer celebrates its independence in love and harmony as was the case in the past. They have, however, appreciated the United Party for National Development, UPND-led administration for the initiative it has introduced to cater for the aged and persons with disabilities.
Akale, isa twalepoka independence, twali abantu abaikatana. Hallelujah. No, twatampo kubika mupya chechi, sorry. Twali abaikatana sana. Kwaliko kwatu ubusiku bwa lero. Balebika nani fichibuku mushila muisa abantu bonse balesekerera papo. Nomba kyaichileluba okuluba natural death. Kwalekalako independence yali ya maofisi fye bali abene bali mabuteko abene beka fwe bonse bapansi nefilema bati tulabira nomba uyu ino mupashi wapitira mu movimento na government yesu ileteka ndakayi tuletasha sana nokulomba kwe bati ichamusango eki kitwalirire
kubantu abalemana tuletotela kubantu abafwe balemana bantu bakateka abaliko baleshaka okuposa kw'amaano ku bantu abalemana so tuleba totela bakateka.
Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
Patriotic Front PF presidential aspiring candidate SAMPA has held the PF Extraordinary General Conference, which he has declared himself as leader of the former ruling party. Mr. SAMPA was suspended on Sunday by the PF Central Committee for indiscipline whilst he was contesting his earlier suspension in the courts of law. Addressing scores who gathered at Mulungushi Conference Center in Lusaka, which was under tight police security, Mr. SAMPA vowed to commence a true PF rebranding, not one being led by people he called hijackers. PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has, however, described the convention that has elected Mr. SAMPA as illegal, accusing the state of sponsoring the activity to destabilize the former ruling party.
Member of Parliament and PF aspiring presidential candidate SAMPA has held the PF Extraordinary General Conference in Lusaka. This comes barely 3 days after the party Central Committee announced his suspension alongside National Chairperson Davis Chama, Davison Mungandu, Chama South Member of Parliament, and Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga. During the event, which was held under heavy police presence, Mr. SAMPA's supporters castigated the current PF leadership. In attendance, Mafinga lawmaker Mr. Chavinga declared his support for Mr. SAMPA and took part in the vote where the material lawmaker was pitted against other 3 candidates. Addressing the delegates, Mr. SAMPA vowed to rebrand the party and ensure it returns to its glory days with a national character.
More money in your pockets. Me, my manifesto, if you elect me as president of PF, it will be the same one, but ikachinja. Ikaba for lower taxes, more jobs, and more money in everyone's pockets.
Reacting to the convention, PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has accused the State and United Party for National Development, UPND top leadership of sponsoring the event to destabilize the former ruling party by forming parallel structures. Regardless, experts such as historian Professor Bizek Piri have warned that PF wrangles will persist due to its failure to hold the party's general conference after former President Edgar Lungu made known his retirement from active politics. For now, one wonders what happens to the huge nomination fees of 200,000 kwacha that were paid by the remaining 8 PF aspiring presidential candidates, with the event having been held. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Triumph Foundation has stressed that Independence Day is a time to spread love and care to the needy in society, as opposed to exhibiting hate and disunity towards one another. To mark this year's independence, the organization opted to cook for patients and share gifts with Independence Day babies at CHIPATA First Level Hospital. Triumph Foundation founder Hola Kunda says children are a special gift from God and deserve to be celebrated. This year's Independence commemoration is being marked under the theme Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources.
Like the waving flag, Zambia continues to go strong as a beacon of peace despite minor bad elements. The country is known for its signature of smooth transition of power from one administration to the other, and the 24th of October remains an important day for Zambia as citizens reflect on the liberation struggle from Britain and the way forward in creating a prosperous middle-income country. The day is marked in different ways, from state functions to community activities. And a humanitarian organization called Triumph Foundation says Independence Day is the time to show love to the sick and the needy in society. Here in Mandevu constituency at CHIPATA First Level Hospital, the organization has been complementing the government's efforts to deliver quality healthcare by providing meals to patients. And 24th October being a special day, they reached out to 6 independence babies and others likely to be born today at the health center.
We are celebrating with the mothers here who have given birth to independence babies. It is really a privilege to us as a Triumph Foundation to celebrate with CHIPATA Level 1, whereby we have been partners for almost 5 years now. So we thought as a foundation so that we come here and give our newborn babies and celebrate the independence under the theme Prayer and Reconciliation. We are a triumph based on prayer, and we are preaching through giving the vulnerable children, widows, and we feed prisoners and hospitals, as we can see where we are at CHIPATA Level 1. So today we say Happy Independence Day to the newly babies.
And Brother Michael Kaptula underscored the need to spread love on Independence Day through sharing the true gospel of Jesus Christ.
Not only getting the Bible and going on the pulpit and begin to preach, the Bible also encourages us to say through giving it is also preaching. So we are preaching the gospel through giving. As you can see, to us, I think Independence Day is one of the best days that we want now to preach the gospel through giving. So we are very much happy to see these babies that are born today, and it's our privilege that as Trump Foundation, we need to give all these babies. We are very much happy. To us, we are preaching the gospel. This is the easiest way to preach the gospel. Very much happy. We are expressing our faith through giving, and we are content and we are happy. As usual, as Trump Foundation, it's a very great privilege to have these independence babies that are born today so that we can preach the gospel through giving.
The beneficiaries expressed gratitude for the kind gesture, and the officials at the clinic hailed the organization for not relenting in assisting the facility.
Sincerely thank you for the support which you give us to us, not only today but always as a partner. Today we have seen you come to give the presents to the 6 babies who have been born today. Among the 6, 2 are twins. So we did appreciate you, because what you have given the babies today is going to see them a long way. And we hope you continue as a foundation supporting Chipata in so many ways.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
United Party for National Development, UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson Trevor Mwinde has expressed disappointment with some opposition political parties who have shunned this year's Independence Day celebration. Mr. Mwinde says the excuse of the opposition political parties of nothing to celebrate does not hold water, as President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA and his government has done a lot in 2 years to change the lives of citizens. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Mwinde adds that this year's independence theme, accelerating national development through equitable distribution of resources, speaks the trajectory of government, as such the increased allocation of Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
People that are shunning the Independence Day celebration by stating that there is nothing to celebrate, there is nothing to be together for. We have seen the unprecedented recruitment that which has broken the records. We have seen men and women in uniform, the levels of motivation in terms of their allowances not being split. We have seen the numbers of youths that are being considered without any corruption, without any inducement whatsoever. People are getting equal opportunities to work competitively in various government departments across the country. This inertia that which politicians want to bring in the country, it won't help them. It won't help anybody. And the Zambian youths now have reached a stage where they would always want to stick and abide by a leader who keeps his word and who respects other leaders.
Lukasha Area Member of Parliament George Chisanga has underscored the need for serious reforms in the judicial system in order to increase public confidence, make it more accountable, independent, and able to deliver justice effectively. In an interview, Mr. Chisanga observes that there is a total collapse in the delivery of the justice system in the country. Mr. Chisanga blames the opposition Patriotic Front for not taking lead in 2014 of reforming the judicial system, but wonders why the ruling United Party for National Development has remained mute on the issue 2 years after forming government.
The importance of judicial reforms in the country cannot be overemphasized. Various stakeholders have continued calling and agreed that the judicial system need reforms to make it more accountable, independent, and able to deliver justice efficiently and effectively. A major concern has been whether developmental assistance to the judiciary could contribute toward desired reforms, increase public confidence in the judiciary, and make the institution more responsive. Lukasha Area Member of Parliament George Chisanga has underscored the need for serious reforms in the judicial system.
Judicial reforms have actually been required in this country for the longest time, and my hope is that UPND maybe in the next 3 years that they have remained, or 2 years, which are very active years, in office, they would initiate a process that we can reform the whole judiciary, as opposed to just speaking about amending the constitution by talking about very small clauses, like taking an MP back to council. Those are not very important clauses. You need to look for important imperative clauses in the constitution, but also involve everybody beyond the political spectrum to participate in the process.
The reforms will ensure that people have confidence in the judicial system, which plays a crucial role in the governance of any country.
Front for having failed to undertake a serious reform in the judiciary. Look, there's a total collapse now in the delivery of justice in this country. We wanted to reform the judiciary between 2011 and 2014, but because of political interference and also because of the death of Mr. Michael Sata, it seems we had share of that idea. I had the expectation that when UPND comes into power, they would reignite that process of trying to reform the judiciary and the legal system itself. The misfortune that we have now is that there seems to be this focus on how to deal with the Patriotic Front leadership, to an extent where they even want to enact new laws, they even want to introduce new courts that are supposed to now deal with the members of the Patriotic Front and those who are associated with the Patriotic Front. I have argued before that that's not how you reform the law.
The way judicial institution operates also has an impact on a country's economic and social development performance, in that rulings on the judiciary have far-reaching consequences on a country. While the government is not interfering with the judiciary, the arm of government faces its own challenges, such as inadequate staffing levels, delay in dispensing justice, and lack of better record keeping. Recently, the Law Association of Zambia had also called on the government to allocate more funding to this sector.
These funding deficiencies have adversely impacted service delivery in the judicial sector. Your Excellency, allocating the judiciary as little as 0.6% of the national budget is a clear evidence that as a society, collectively, we have neglected the judiciary.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take our first set of commercials. Do join me with more news after the break. Don't go away.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet Media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to having home and as far.
Thank you for staying with us. We now continue with more news. Forum for Democracy and Development FDD leader Edith Nawakwi says it is a mark of failure by the UPND government to start involving the Zambian National Service into milling trade instead of its mandate of keeping strategic reserves. Ms. Nawakwi says it was unwise for HAKAINDE HICHILEMA-led UPND government to export the maize grain that they found in reserve without thinking of what the future will be. She says the head of state needs to get back to basics and involve traditional leaders in the forthcoming farming season if the country is to avert extreme hunger in the coming years.
Earlier this month, Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu announced that the country is likely to experience erratic and uneven rainfall pattern with periods of prolonged dry spells and periods of heavy rains. This may mean catastrophe for the agriculture sector, which is the only economic activity for most Zambians. Forum for Democracy and Development FDD leader Edith Nawakwi says President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA must involve traditional leaders in the forthcoming farming season if the country is to avert extreme hunger situation in the coming years.
To be able to reverse this catastrophe, HAKAINDE HICHILEMA needs to get down to the basics. Get the chiefs, get the village headmen to be involved in the agriculture season 2023-2024 if we are going to avert extreme hunger. And I say this because what they have done is that they've said, oh, we are going to support 1 million farmers with FISIP packets. But what is it? You give someone a meda. Can he himself feed his family with a meda? No, he can't. A meda of fertilizer. It's not possible.
Ms. Nawakwi also laments that Zambia needs a biblical Joseph to foresee what lies ahead, unlike President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, who exported all the maize he found in reserves simply because it was purchased by the Patriotic Front.
I don't know if they have appointments with God. So that they were told that next year is going to rain, next year going. It's an act of naivety. Maize reserves, if in fact you went to South America or the Americas, maize is stored for close to 10 years in silos. Every year you have to keep a certain minimum storage reserve. But here, we get someone given the authority to govern us and empties our silos and doesn't replenish them. For me, that's a grave failure. That's a glaring failure. And this one failure is what has caused misery in homes.
Ms. Nawakwi also spoke about the government's decision to involve the Zambia National Service in milling trading. Instead
of ZNS doing the work which we gave them by the Act, they are now busy trading in milling meal, which is very, very unfortunate. It's a mark of failure on this government. And you see, when you talk about the defense and security, yes, they're supposed to keep strategic reserves, but they're not supposed to go and be the principal players in the market.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Permanent Secretary, Gender Division in the Office of the President, Mainga Kabika, says she is impressed with the way Germany has structured its gender machinery right up to the grassroots level. Ms. Kabika observed that in Germany, the positions of women in leadership are more than what in Zambia, as women parliamentarians in Zambia stand at 14% and approximately 10% at local government level, while Germany is at approximately 34% of women in parliament. She has since called on political parties in Zambia to have quota systems in their party constitutions and ensure that 30% of positions are reserved for women, adding that the 30% minimum representation of women should also be at national, cabinet, parliament and local government level, as well as the private sector. Ms. Kabika was speaking in Berlin, Germany, at the end of a one-week engagement by a delegation of Zambia women who went to that country for engagements focusing on women's political participation. The 7-member delegation that was led by Central Province Minister Honorable Princess Kasune has since returned to Zambia.
I've had a lot of takeaways from here. Our exchange tour was really beneficial. Very impressed with the way Germany has structured its gender machinery and the way they have mainstreamed right up to the grassroots level. Their structure is very heavy at grassroots level, and we are hoping that we're also going to get there because this is our vision. We'd actually like to ensure that we get closer to the people and ensure that we provide the service at that level. So we're looking forward to ensure that we also speak to the decentralization so that we're not only heavy at the national level, but we should go closer to the people. Here, the positions of women in leadership are much more than we have in Zambia, because in Zambia we only have 15.4% of women in parliament and approximately 10% of women at local government leadership. But here there are approximately 34% in parliament, and those are the numbers we're looking forward to get to. We're hoping to have the quotas, and I'd also like to take advantage of this opportunity to encourage all political parties to embed the quotas in their constitutions so that they ensure that they have, they reserve 30% of the positions in the parties for women. This is what we want to get to as a nation as well, so that at the national level we have 30% minimum at be it at cabinet level and be it at parliamentary level, local government leadership, as well as government institutions, and also this should be spread to the private sector as well.
A Lusaka-based private school, Family Education of Success, has challenged pupils to work hard in order for the development of the country to be amassed. Speaking during the celebrations at Lusaka Playhouse, school director Fabian Mumba has told the learners to be hardworking, as laziness will cause the country to remain underdeveloped. And one of the pupils, Salifyanji Sicholongo, who is in an examination class, had advised fellow students to dwell on activities that offer solutions to challenges being faced.
24th October annually marks the historical day Zambia celebrates independence. As the country joins in celebration, a private school has observed this day alongside its dedicated FEM Day with a challenge for pupils to embrace the spirit of hard work. FEM Educational Success Director Fabian Mumba says no development will be witnessed if the current crop of pupils do not strive to work hard and deliver to the best of the country's interest. Mr. Mumba challenged the pupils at his school as they transition into society to uphold high standards of discipline and hard work.
You have the potential. You have everything it takes. Number one, to develop yourselves as individuals, to develop your families, to develop your communities, and to contribute to the massive development of this country. Your education is not merely to give you a paper. Like the late Mahatma Gandhi said, if education does not bring about transformation of individuals and societies, then it is a failed education.
You know, most of you have that perception, no, Zambia, we can't move forward, Zambia, we're stagnant. No, we need to have that intention of changing this country to a developed country.
The FEM and the Independence Day celebrations at Lusaka's Playhouse also saw students share insight on what should be done for development to be seen in the country. Pupils representative Salifyanji Sichilongo advises fellow pupils to embrace the culture of focusing on actions that promote solution, unlike dwelling in the past.
Planning is what's going to prepare you even greater. Don't waste your time worrying about what passed. Waste your time thinking about what's there to change. While you still have time to change the future, change it before the future changes itself for you.
You put up a fight, and that fight will take you to greater heights than you ever could reach. What am I trying to say? You can all achieve what you want. All you need is a bit of effort and a bit of faith in God. And just that gets you to any place you want to be. The sky is never the limit. The limitation is in your mind. So if you follow the limitation in your mind, you fail. But the sky is never the limit.
The day was also characterized by entertainment, with a poet advising the pupils to remain true to their origin through a poetic piece entitled "I Am Black."
Males catalyzing racism, demonizing my people with nepotism, naked genocism, rampant criticism, pain as my tribulation, but black remains my redemption.
Zambia's 59th Independence Day is being observed under the theme "Accelerating National Development through Equitable Distribution of Resources." Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa has called on Zambians to uphold and guard jealously the peace the country has enjoyed for the past 59 years. Mr. Akapelwa says Zambia is a peaceful country and that the peace enjoyed should never be taken for granted by those who have intentions to destabilize the country. And Barotse Royal Establishment representative Induna Inete Akapelwa Silumbu has urged government to fight hunger and poverty amongst the economic hardship.
Zambia celebrates her independence every 24th October to reflect on the day that freedom was achieved from the British colonial rule. This year, 2023, Zambia celebrated her independence under the theme "Accelerating National Development Through Equitable Distribution of Resources." Officiating the event, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa has called on Zambians to uphold the peace that the country is enjoying.
When this country gained its independence from British colonial rule, let us all remember that independence is a prestigious gift that comes with responsibilities. It is our duty as citizens of this country to ensure that we preserve the freedom. We must see to it that the sovereignty of Mother Zambia is protected without compromise. Our independence would be meaningless without peace. Therefore, each one of us has a solemn duty to uphold and guard jealously the peace that we continue to enjoy in the post-independence era.
Meanwhile, the Barotse Royal Establishment representative Induna Inete has urged government to fight hunger and poverty in the province.
We want ourselves to be free from poverty. We want ourselves to be free from hunger. We want to be free from disease. We want to be free from ignorance. We want to be free from insecurity. And who are they, the freedom fighters, to fight these evils?
And in her homily, Reverend Victoria Iliampo has called on the people of Mongo to reflect to God as they enjoy the independence and show love to each other.
The nation. And now we are also talking about the inside freedom. What is this inside freedom? The freedom from the powers of darkness. The freedom from sin. This is the freedom we are talking about today. The Lord wants us to turn away from our sins. We can call Zambia a Christian nation, but it's an individual commitment. And life is about choices. Hallelujah.
Various entertainment activities were experienced at the colorful event. Mukabira reporting for Camnet News in Mungu, Western Province.
Government, through the Ministry of Agriculture in Southern Province, has launched the 2023-2024 season input distribution for the whole province in Zimba, aimed at catering for over 184,000 small-scale hoarder beneficiary farmers. Zimba District Commissioner Robson Mulamfu officially launched the Provincial Farmer Input Support Program FISIP with a call to all beneficiary farmers to sell their produce to the Food Reserve Agency FRA. Mr. Mulamfu observed that government has directed that all farmer beneficiaries under this season's FISIP shall be required to sell their crop to FRA. Nais has the details in this report.
Government, through the Ministry of Agriculture in Southern Province, has launched the 2023-2024 season input distribution in Zimba, aimed at catering for 183,375 smallholder beneficiary farmers. Zimba District Commissioner Robson Mulamfu officially launched the Farmer Input Support Program with a call to all beneficiary farmers to sell their produce to the Food Reserve Agency. Meanwhile, over 103,515 farmers in the province have deposited their 400 kwacha towards the input acquisition from FISIP, representing 56.4% out of the 183,375 allocated to the province.
Government has directed that all farmers, beneficiaries under this season FISIP shall be required to sell their crops to the Food Reserve Agency or FRA. I therefore declare the 2023-2024 FISIP redeeming exercise officially launched in Zimba and Southern Province in general.
And Southern Province Agriculture Coordinator Dr. Max Chombe cautioned beneficiary farmers against selling and sharing of imports under the program as they registration from accessing imports.
We are planting this season. Let's observe the weather conditions. We plant the medium maturing varieties at Southern Province. We launched today. Bear in mind that we are not going to entertain sharing. We are not going to entertain also selling of imports.
Bernard Mdenda is a beneficiary farmer.
We thank the UPND government for distributing imports early.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Zimba, Southern Province.
We now take our last and final set of commercial break. Do join me with sports and international news after this.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
This feeling
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends, and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to having home and this far.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now in international news, at least 20 civilians were killed on Monday night in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo in an attack attributed to the ADF rebels affiliated to the Islamic State group, local sources said. The attack took place on the outskirts of Oicha, a town in Beni territory in the north of North Kivu province. Originally Ugandan rebels with a Muslim majority, the ADF, Allied Democratic Forces, have been present in the east of the DRC since the 1990s, where they are accused of having massacred thousands of civilians. Here's a roundup of international news.
At least 20 civilians were killed in the night from Monday to Tuesday in eastern DRC in an attack attributed to the ADF rebels affiliated with the Islamic State group, according to local sources. These attacks occurred in a peripheral neighborhood of Oisha, a locality in Beni territory in northern part of the Kivu province, where the assailant killed and looted. The ADF are originally Ugandan rebels, primarily of Muslim faith, and have been operating in eastern DRC since the 1990s, where they are accused of massacring thousands of civilians. In 2019, they pledged allegiance to ISIS, which claims some of their actions and refers to them as its Central African province. Uganda and the DRC launched a joint offensive at the end of 2021 to drive the ADF out of the Congolese strongholds, but have so far been unable to halt the group's attacks.
In town after war-ravaged town, rubble-filled streets people once strolled. Homes bear the scars of war, ghost towns near the front line. They may seem abandoned, but the hum of a generator, people talking, reveal life is carrying on underground.
As you can see, we're being shelled constantly. We tell people not to stay outside in groups. They should stay indoors or come here. People are living in other basements around the city, but they're not as safe as this one.
Offering public services, albeit scaled down, is about preserving dignity, something war strips away. A moment to reflect brings back a memory of a friend, he says, who died exactly 1 year ago to the day.
This is one of the only buildings in town that still has running water, which means there are hot showers, and over here there is a fully functioning laundromat service. And if you walk into the next room, it's an entertainment space, and it has a makeshift cinema, there's books and music, there's a store where you can get snacks and hot coffee. All of this is quite impressive. It's more than just creature comforts. Here, it is a luxury, considering we're just about a kilometer from Ukrainian trench positions.
A little bit of normal life in the middle of war. A place to see friends, get rations, a hot drink. To get and give help, to avoid being alone in the worst of times.
To be honest, I cry in what remains of my apartment. I had a life there, I had friends, I had family. Of course it's not a mansion, but it was mine. Right now I'm like a dog with a bag in a field. Here with people I forget about that a little.
People say they are used to living near the front line, but the sounds of shells never stops being scary. In a place like this, every life becomes precious. Even the local animal shelter is still open for business, still treating sick pets. But everyone here knows all roads south lead to Russian positions, to danger, and simply to remain is to resist. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera, Hulyai Polya, Ukraine's southern Zaporizhia region.
And now in sports news, Chipolopolo legends will entertain Malawi legends at the newly refurbished David KAUNDA Stadium in Chipata on Saturday, 28 October 2023. The match, organized by the Football Association of Zambia in Eastern Province, will serve as a post-independence birthday gift to football lovers, as well as cement the companionship existing between Zambia and Malawi. The Zambian Legends team comprises mostly 2012 African Cup of Nations AFCON winning squad led by Captain Christopher Katongo, Chisamba Lungu, Chintu Kampamba, Hichan Himonde, Kalidilo Kakonje, and Felix Katongo. Other players to have donned the Chipolopolo shirts that will feature for the Zambia include Fwayo Tembo, Billy Mwanza, Clive Hachilesa, Nchimunya Mwetwa, Justin Zulu, Jimmy Chisenga, Given Sukulunga, and Clifford Mulenga. The Malawi side will be captained by former defender, now Flames coach Patrick Mabendi, and will also contain many players that featured at the 2010 AFCON. That includes goalkeeper Simplex Ntara, Mabende, and James Sangala. Former midfielder Joseph Kamwendo and forward Ransel Mwafulirwa, Fisher Kondowe, Elvis Kafotesa, Alan Kamanga, and Harry Nyerenda have also made the squad. The match will kick off at 15 hours and will be preceded by a contest involving the 17 team and their Lusaka province counterparts at 13 hours. That item brings us to the end of our main news, but before I go, let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Expelled PF official SAMPA holds party national conference. UPND chairperson MWALITETA accuses the PF of seeking public sympathy. President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA honors Chief MPEZENI at the 59th Independence celebration. In international news, at least 20 dead in an attack attributed to the ADF in Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports news, Chipolopolo legends take on Malawi legends at the newly refurbished David KAUNDA Stadium in Chipata. We now look at our Camnet verse of the day coming from the book of Acts 3, verse 6 to 7. Then Peter said, "Silver or gold I do not have, but what I do have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk." Taking him by the right hand, he helped him up, and instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Thank you so much for watching. Good night and pleasant viewing.